What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Beers with the Bros podcast. We talk movies, we talk sports, a little bit of everything in between.
Well, he made it.
That was fun while it lasted. It's like he's like
Yep, 5
meditating.
seconds.
He's just like,
Very, very deep in thought.
Hey, I'm actually going to take a picture of this real quick. Take advantage of this.
Oh wait,
opportunity.
he was.
Son of a bitch.
Sorry
time.
for that. We've had some technical difficulties, hence why we're running late tonight, and that'll probably, it looks like they'll continue throughout the night, so we apologize for that. But Bertie, why don't you tell the people what we're working on here tonight?
What are we working on tonight? Well, first off, I know this movie is so smooth into the ears. But what we're going to be working on tonight, we're back again, year 2025. Hopefully it'll be the best years for the Bros yet. Even though we haven't celebrated a full year yet, but we still think we have a great concept and we're going to enjoy Beers with the Bros for 2025. And we hope that you're going to be enjoying it as well. But how to start off 2025? The fucking NFL football playoffs are here, fellas. They're here. And we're going to talk about all about it.
Well, we're going to be talking all about it.
What did I say?
Brad's going to be deep in thought over there.
I know. I was
all
trying to
night
get that
long,
damn
apparently.
picture so quick. And then, damn it.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
No, it's okay, dude. Guys, holiday season from moving and all that, everything's been hectic. So hopefully, starting from now till next week and the next week after that, we get things back on a consistent basis here. We will do everything we can on that to provide you all with the best content in sports and also in film as well. And along when we go back to next week, or for next week's episode, we will finally start back up the games, and that way we will keep a better track record for the games of 2025, so we know who the true king of games is.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I think I'm the king of the games up to this point. I'm just going to self-proclaim it.
Oh
There's
God, here we go.
There's no
the
trackers.
only
There's
thing
no
you
trackers.
want is- the only thing you want is this.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're doing the
shiny
trophy.
butt
Are we?
plug.
Are we ready for the
You gotta-
trophy presentation here?
Yeah, for the
Uh,
regular season, Brad, ladies and gentlemen, is the Beers with the Bros college football pick'em champion.
Hell yeah, dude. That's cool as hell, man. You got the engraving on there, all that cool stuff. I'm actually
Yeah.
surprised with myself.
Well, my trophy sucks because mine don't have jack shit, but just let y'all know this is the NFL version of the pick'ems. And I won 51. And guess what, guys? We're going to have to use these playoffs as a tiebreaker between Brad and Chris because you guys have tied 45-26.
Interesting.
Oh,
I'm on your
damn!
fucking
I really
heels,
fucked
buddy.
myself. There was a week where I just went complete opposite as Bert, so I could have a chance to catch up, and I think that just ended up screwing me over even worse.
You know,
That's not good.
and I get to watch you two gentlemen sit on those two things as punishment for coming in last.
It sounds like he's jealous that we're going to be all comfortable when we sit down for the rest of these streams for that the rest until next season, that is. And then we get new trophies, which is pretty much all going to be is we're going to sanitize it and then we will present it back.
Nice.
Yeah, but
I will
can't
give you
skip
this,
the
Brad.
next
It looks
station.
like your butt plug is going to go in a little easier than Birdie's, so you've got that going for you.
What are you talking? Yeah, I was about to say, wait, where did my trophy go again? Like, yeah, Brad's
I
going to
don't
have
know,
it
man.
pretty fucking rough.
Yeah,
don't
but I
know,
mean, you've
man.
got the pointed tip. I mean, yours is just kind of like it's full bore right out of the
It's
gate.
not
That is a
about
sideways.
the
It's
length.
almost.
not
It's like a
about the
45.
length, It's
Yeah.
about the girth.
That's a 45-degree angle on your ball.
Yeah,
It's
I
not-
don't.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck we're
You
talking
know,
about.
I don't know. I think both
but
you
I-
gentlemen are probably looking at a perforated colon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, shit happens, man. But here's what we'll
Perforates,
do
too.
before we get to the full NFL playoffs and give our entire thoughts about the NFL playoffs along with the pick'ems. You'll get live pick'ems as well. I will input the picks and I will keep up with it and let you know who is the best. Haven't checked on college lately just because college football, the playoffs have been okay. Wish Tennessee would have made the playoffs. I felt like we could have been a lot better team than all those other fools. But, maybe next year Tennessee can make the college football playoffs.
Yeah, I wish we didn't make the college football playoff this year, but we
Now,
did.
damn
And we
it,
got
Brad, I was
spanked.
trying to be positive.
We made let's call it the it was a good season for Tennessee, man. They still went. They went in there. They got destroyed, but Ohio State's on a tear right now. They're destroying pretty much everybody in their path. So at least we weren't
Texas
the only
next.
ones. Yeah, I don't think Texas.
Wow, that's a hot take, Brad. Really?
It's like he's questioning himself.
I know.
But no, here's what we'll do when Brad gets back. I'll ask him this, but Chris, I'll ask you before we get to the full NFL playoffs, just where everything will be pretty much NFL from this point forward. Is there anything you just want to describe or anything you want to comment on sports wise? Because I know it's been a couple of weeks since we've done a show like this. A lot of things happened in sports. So is there just a sports thing you want to talk about or just NFL playoffs?
We can just dive right into the playoffs, man. I don't think there's any real storylines. Oh, something I was curious about, which I'm not sure if we put in the script or not. Are we going to go? You remember we had a couple of sort of hot takes at the beginning of the season. Are we going to go back and revisit those to see how fucking disastrously wrong we were about so many things?
Like the predictions.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, predictions.
Yeah, I was gonna re-review the predictions before we go into our predictions. So I was gonna just show how fucking wrong we are, or some people.
Because I remember one of them was, are the Jets going to make the playoffs? And then we also thought, how many wins are the Bears going to have with Caleb Williams? And I think we were very badly wrong on both of those.
I don't think you're wrong with. Well, Brett was actually right with the instincts. He picked to go like 5-8 or whatever, or 5 and whatever the other side of the math is.
Oh, actually, you're wrong about that, Brad. Because I put the Bears in the playoff, and I'm not too proud of it. But I've made a lot of other proudful decisions.
No, the first episode. Run it back to the.
Run it back to what? Oh my goodness! Yeah, he's absolutely
run it back
right.
to what?
Run it back to the.
Run it back to what? Oh man, this is going to be a fun show, ladies and gentlemen. Technology shit.
Welcome back. Back in the saddle.
How can we fuck up 2025 already? But man, but
no, we're doing it.
But hey, I'll mention one thing, Fo. This ain't really nothing sports wise, even though we could easily talk about Black Friday. But honestly, Black Friday is becoming what we. You know what? Actually, no. Fuck it. I know exactly what we could talk about real quick. Just real quick. Ashton, I'm glad you're in the chat because fuck your team. Fuck your team. The New England Patriots firing Jerod Mayo after one season.
Oh.
That's such fucking horse shit. I hope you all lose for eternity.
Wow.
Like, fuck that, man.
I mean, you're really on a tear there.
Dude, hey, don't ask me about the freaking Bengals bitching about the Chiefs, just laying it down and taking one to the Broncos. Because I can go in a whole another 10-minute spiel on that. But
oh, I'm sorry, man. I was looking. 49ers fired their special teams coordinator. Thank God.
Oh well, trust me, that's not the most important thing about your team this year. But Brad, if you are with us, is there anything you want to talk about in the sports world before we go fully NFL playoffs for the rest of the show? Is there just something like a topic you want to talk about or anything?
I mean, I'm barely hanging on over here. It seems like I'm getting fucking booted around. Like, damn, I don't know. I can't even compare it to anything. It's crazy. But no, yes,
Jerod Mayo. You were perfect last week.
I know. I don't know what's going on. Jerod Mayo,
snow, man.
Getting fired is pretty ridiculous. Considering they didn't even have a quarterback. I mean, they had Brissett for the first half of the season, and then along with that, they don't even have any talent anywhere. I mean. That was a very pretty ridiculous thing to do, in my opinion, but whatever. Outside of that, the Falcons suck. We knew that. We thought for moments that they were going to be decent this year, but Penix looks promising. from what we've seen in this first few games. Some great throws the other day against the Panthers. Obviously the game against the Commanders, we lost that game as well, both overtime games, but man, the way that he tied it up there with that throw the pits right at the end of regulation, that was fantastic. He's got ice in his veins, I think. Converted a couple fourth downs as well, that being one of them. So love to see it. I think a lot of the rookies from last year are really looking excellent, man. Bo Nix, obviously Jaden Daniels is amazing, and I think Drake May is going to be solid too. So I think it was a great year for quarterbacks, and I can't wait to see what they keep doing.
Hell yeah, dude. And actually, good point about mentioning your Dirty Birds, which I'm sorry about that. I was really pulling for them. Chris, any last comments or just an overall thought about the San Francisco 49ers?
No, man. I mean, it wasn't our season. Dealt with a lot, injuries and all that. Absolutely horrible defensive coordinator hire. Special teams sucked. It was just one of those years, man.
Well, I'm sorry about that, guys. I really am. So we're not going to. I'm not going to overview my team yet because we're still in it. So, all right, guys. Before we officially get started, let me say hello to people. We got Talking She. What's going on there? Talking She. She. That's why I better pull up here like she. But what's going on there? And that is, I believe, Mark. So what's going on there, Mark? Part of the team of Mark and Brian. They do a great job over there, and they are big Detroit Lion fans. So I know they're pumped up for an exciting postseason. So Mark, what's going on? We got the lovely Brooke. What's going on there, Brooke? How are you doing?
What's up, Brooke?
And what the fuck are these guys? Well, we tell you, we're the fucking Patriots haters. Fuck the Patriots.
I was liking the Patriots too, man. I
was too until they fired Mayo. They're one good thing.
Yeah, I've hated my Patriots or the Patriots my entire life, and then Bill Belichick goes away. They get Gerard Mayo in there. Drake May is a quarterback that I liked a lot. I was starting to really kind of pull for him, but again, if they get Vrabel, I like him a lot, so maybe I'll pull for him again if that's what they end up doing.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. It's going to happen because, why not? Because Vrabel was a part of the Patriots organization, so it's just come home, Vrabel. That I'm telling you, that's going to happen.
Well, it makes sense. For them to do that, they just should have done it last year instead of hiring Gerard Mayo for a year. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, they should have hired. It's crazy that nobody hired Vrabel last year. He's a hell of a good coach. The Titans just suck as an organization, and he still took him to the playoffs a couple times. So, I mean, he's a good coach, man. Whoever gets him is going to get a steal.
And a quick Titan note real quick. They are holding on to that number 1 overall pick for the 2025 NFL draft. Will they trade it? Will they pick a quarterback? Or would they just do what the Titans always do? Fuck it up. So
I think they'll trade out.
Yeah, but I got an idea. Like, we'll get more into the draft talk when it gets closer to it and our thoughts behind that. And plus, anything can still happen from this point. But what y'all came here is for the NFL playoffs, so I think we should go ahead and get right down to the nitty gritty. Brad with the thumbs up there, my man. See, he's fucking ready. All right, let me know when this is big enough. You just let me know.
That looks pretty good right there, I think.
Give it a little Viagra.
I'm just kidding.
There we go. Make it bigger. Okay.
What about this? Is that good?
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
but before I get back to that, we gotta go with our shitty predictions here. So let me scroll to Chris first. So Chris, let's check you out with predictions.
And let me say this before you go into these predictions, Bert. Now that I seem to have a good streak going here, the very first episode we did the preseason NFL predictions, in which you predicted. I know you kind of had a 180 the following week when we did this, or a couple weeks after, but that first week you predicted Caleb Williams to win no more than 5 games. I think you said 5 and 13 or whatever, 5 and 12, I guess.
Why did I put them in the playoff?
I don't know why you did it, but if you check the tape and go back to the first episode, you're like, I don't even know if they're going to win 5 games. Like, you had zero confidence. So I would actually give you credit for getting that prediction done. And I'd be interested to see how those predictions panned out for everybody.
God, I just wish I could have talked to past me and put down like a $100 bet. I wonder how much money I was going to get out of that shit.
I think next
Um,
week. I don't think we had any Super Bowl picks on there.
We
So
did.
maybe
We had a preseason Super Bowl pick, so
okay.
we could get to that in a minute, or at least with Chris here, because we'll go Chris, we'll go Bradman, we'll go me, and then we'll go. We'll just talk about the entire matchup, and then that's when we'll make picks of Chris, Brad, and then me. Is how I got that organized. But this is Chris picks. Let's see here. AFC North, Chris, Ravens, check. South, Texans, check. Wow, look at that. Chris already 4-0 in the AFC. Way to freaking go. Let's check
That's
your
right.
NFC here. We got the North with the Lions. That's correct. The Falcons, nope. The 49ers, nope. And the Eagles, yeah. So, dude, you only got 2 wrong there. Way to go, buddy.
Very solid, man.
That's
And
right.
Falcons
Pump
were
up the
close.
jam.
Falcons were close.
Yeah.
That was a good pick.
And this is Chris's AFC picks here. Colts, Jets, Bengals, Dolphins.
Why the fuck did I put the Colts in there?
Well, because you thought, maybe a second year Antonio Richardson and that the team's starting to figure it out. But no, the only thing we figured out this year is that they're a bunch of chokist. I'm
I
not
didn't
sure
put the
that's even a
fucking-
word, but
Are you sure this is mine?
yeah, you see that name right there?
This is wild.
Oh, you
If I
must have been
picked
drinking.
If I picked the Bills to win, why would the Jets be in there?
Because wild card.
Where's
Because
the
we
Bills?
thought the AFC
Where-
because we thought the AFC East was going to be really good this year, but it turns
Where's the
out.
Bills though?
Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. What the fuck is this? Just want.
The Bills? The
Oh,
Bills are gone.
wait a minute. Something's fucked up because no, there's no.
Oh, that's
fucking-
Brad. Those are Brad's picks, not mine.
No, that they were the exact same picks. Yeah, see, they were okay. I fucked something up, so apparently we can't do preseason shit. So I apologize. I'll have to review episode 1, and I'll get back to you all next week. I promise. So I did something to fuck up again. It's like Chris said, we've only barely begun 2025 with Beers and Bros, and it's all going to hell.
Yeah, I know, man. We're trying. We're gonna
Yeah,
get it
well,
back together though. Things are
Once we
smoothing
get
out.
the consistency back, we'll be golden. Especially when we get back to the games. That's where it's
Yeah.
all about.
Exactly.
So, all right. So, Chris, or actually, no,
Uh-huh.
we're not going to talk about Chris's picks yet, but this is the AFC playoff picture right here. This is correct. The Chiefs, what we call it, guys? 15-2.
It's a good season.
Just very, very strong season. And, a lot of bullshit wins. But you know what? Wins are wins. So they get the number 1 overall seed, while the Buffalo Bills, AFC East champions, get the number 2. The Ravens, the North champs, number 3. Texans, number 4, with winning the South. And then we got the Chargers, the Steelers, and the Broncos. So we got 3 of 4 AFC West teams, one of the most difficult divisions in all of professional football. So, any comments about the AFC bracket?
I'm just for me, I'm excited to see the Steelers and the Broncos in there, man. A little bit of a surprise for both of those.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see. I don't know how far either one of them will go, but yeah, I mean, I think it's cool that they made it.
Hell yeah. Chris, any thoughts?
I was going to say I'm pretty surprised the Broncos made it. I mean, the Steelers always have a chance with Mike Tomlin, I think, to sneak in there. But they did play much better than I thought they would. So, the other big surprise is the Chargers. I think they were kind of an unknown. Their roster has been good for several years, but, Jim Harbaugh coming in there kind of didn't know which way that was going to go. And they've been playing good ball for most of the season. So, yeah, a little surprised, but
Yeah, with the Chargers, definitely a wild card. I'll be honest with you. I just didn't think in your first year of the Harbaugh era of LA, they would make the playoffs. So very impressive. And we kind of learned that it's just coaching. Like the Chargers have always had the talent, in my opinion, champion. They just never had the coaching. And now they finally got the coaching. If they could just surround themselves with more players, the Chargers could be that team to knock off Kansas City from the throne. And then I'll just tell you this. I do know one thing from the preseason show. I know I didn't put Buffalo into my AFC playoff. I thought they were going to be awful, or not awful, but just decent, but not playoff material after losing so much. But fuck me, was I wrong on that one? I put all my eggs in the basket on the Jets. And so, other than the Patriots, fuck the Jets.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so let me ask this. Not really predict or like who wins and all that, but I'll go with you first. Who do you think is the most dangerous team in the AFC right now?
Well, outside of the Chiefs, probably. Let me disclude the Chiefs and the Bills just because those are the two favorites. And let's look at everybody else. I think I would have to say, it'd be between. Let me go with I think I would go with the Chargers here. I mean, they find ways to win games. The Texans, I want to say, but I'd say whoever wins that matchup, that 4-5 matchup there between the Texans and Chargers, are going to be the team to look out for. All these teams could make a run, though. I mean, they all have good things going, especially right now. They're hot. So, but I'm going to say the Chargers.
All right, Chris, who do you think is the most deadly team in the AFC?
I mean, I think the Ravens, outside of the top, if we're excluding the Chiefs and the Bills, I think it's got to be the Ravens, right? I mean, they've got a pretty stout defense. They got the combo and Lamar and King Henry, good offensive line. But they do just they're a strange team because they just have a tendency to just not show up at all in games. And I think as strong as they are, and I think they've beaten quite a few of the teams in this. I think the Steelers stand the best chance of anyone in this bracket outside of the Chiefs to take them down. I mean, it's a divisional rival, and so the Steelers, I think, know them well. Mike Tomlin, if they take the Ravens out in the wild card, that could really be something interesting.
Yeah, and talk about just a bad matchup for the Ravens is the Steelers. Your like the biggest rivalry in all of the NFL, and maybe even in sports in some particular arguments as well. So that's a very good pick with the Ravens. I'm going to really go off the edge here. And I know this is going to be crazy, but to me, the most dangerous team is the Denver Broncos. And let me tell you why. Their defense is stout. They've been giving a lot of opponents a really hard time. So it's like if you beat the Broncos, you would be coming out of that game hurting or being hurt because of the physicality of the game that the Broncos bring. Bo Nix is playing some really, really good football right now. Yes, still making some rookie mistakes in there every now and then. But to me, every single time he goes on that football field, he is becoming more and more of an NFL quarterback, not an elite. Maybe down the road he can be elite, but right now I think he's just gradually improving, and that's all thanks to again coaching with Sean Payton. He's got a good quarterback on his side, and then very good wide receivers. Strong, like not the best run game in the world, but a run game that can get the job done once they could get things rolling. But I think it's just the defense that really just sells it for me with Denver. And I'll just be honest with you, Buffalo, be very, very careful this weekend. I'm just telling you, if you don't bring it, Denver can pull off that upset. So that's why I think they're definitely one of the most dangerous teams heading into the AFC playoff.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
So, and then, sorry, one more question for the AFC, and then we'll go to the NFC and talk a little bit about the NFC playoff. I say, who's the most dangerous team? Who is going to, I'm trying to word it the best way possible. I wouldn't say it's not the weakest because all of these teams are strong, but who do you think is struggling the most going into these playoffs? And we'll go in reverse. So we'll go me, Chris, and then you, Brad. So with that, like for example, I think I was thinking the Texans, but I have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers right now with the most struggling team because the whole month of December, their offense has been looking atrocious, which is crazy because all of November, Russell Wilson, let's ride Steeler Nation, freaking just going off, making great throws, Pickens catching everything. And then, as we saw from the Steelers in the Bengals game last week, Pickens was pretty much dropping every freaking ball imaginable and just complaining like a little bitch about it. But Russell just hasn't been playing very good in the month of December. So give me the Steelers for being just that team where they better get their shit together or they're going to get embarrassed this weekend.
Yeah, man. I was actually. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm third. You go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say the Texans. Also, it's not the let's ride anymore. It's Steelers country. Let's weld.
I get it.
But I have to say the Texans, man. I mean, they're kind of a strange team, I think, because CJ Stroud has not been the focal point. I mean, you know, they've been finding ways to win games, but he's not really been playing all that well. Now, granted, you know, they're missing a lot of key pieces on what the fuck is this? I'm so sorry. Okay. He's missing a couple of key pieces on offense, which makes things a lot more difficult. The defense, they've been leaning on them, but I think, you know, like they're finding ways to win games, but when it comes to the playoffs, I think they're the least complete team. You know what I mean? Like whether it be with injuries or, you know, they're missing a couple of pieces that, you know, they still don't have quality players at or whatever, or the depth, you know. I think that they're the weakest or the least complete team of this batch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a good point too with the Texans. Brad, who do you got?
I was going to go with the Steelers as well. I you know, they've had some ups, but for the most part, like you said, their offense hasn't been great most of the season, with the exception of, you know, a few games there. I mean, just the first week of the year, they beat the Falcons by kicking like 8 field goals. They didn't even get in the end zone. So, and that's kind of what we're seeing here lately as well, is a lot of that. So I think they'll struggle, especially playing at the Ravens. I don't give them much of a chance to win that first game. Could they? Yeah, of course, always. But I don't think I would definitely put money on the Ravens for sure.
Mm-hmm. And Chris, I want to go to your Texans thing. I would say that kind of part of the Texans' struggles is CJ Stroud having what we call the sophomore season, where a lot of teams have more tape on him, and so they can get better counteract of what he's doing. And plus, he's been facing serious injuries from the wide receiver group there too. Like, because at one point Nico was out and it was just Tank Dell. Stephon Diggs had an early exit to the season with an ACL tear. And then once you get Nico and Tank Dell back, then that's when Tank Dell had that horrible, which to me looked like another ACL tear or something fractured in his knee. So he'll be out for a long time, maybe even missing some games early next season. But yeah, that wide receiver room's hurting, and that's just, to me, what I feel like mainly why CJ Stroud has been struggling. Yeah. Oh, and they can't pass protect worth for shit either.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. They're missing a couple of pieces. I think they need to build that O line up a little bit. But yeah, see, I totally forgot that fucking Stephon Diggs was even on that team, dude. You just said that.
Dude, I mean, not heard like week 2 or 3, but like,
yeah, not that I didn't know, but like, yeah, I totally forgot. Like, that wasn't even something that entered into my mind because he's been out for so long. I totally forgot that he was even on that team. So yeah, it's just been Nico is pretty much their only threat right now. And who's their? Is Dalton Schultz their tight end?
Yeah,
Dr. Schultz.
Dr. Schultz, yeah.
Yeah, so he's not much of a threat, I don't feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so guys, any other thoughts before I move to the NFC, or do y'all just want to go ahead and make the AFC picks? Since we're just talking about it?
Well, it doesn't matter to me. You're already on the screen. You want to go ahead and do the picks?
Yeah, let's rock.
Let's rock it.
What was that, Brad?
I said, yeah, let's rock with it. Let's make the picks.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. Chris, we'll go with you first, my friend. Who do you got here? The Texans or the Chargers?
I'm going to go with the Chargers.
All right, you're going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to wait a minute before I advance them because again, with the NFL, it's like the lowest seed gets to play the
Mhm.
Chiefs. So I got to see where Chris's picks lie before I move teams around. So Ravens or Steelers, Chris?
This could be upset city, man, but I'm going to go with the Ravens here.
All right. Well, I am comfortable with moving them down here. I could be comfortable in that right there. And then the Bills and the Broncos.
Yeah, give me the Bills.
Ooh. So yeah, we already know what we're getting. The pretty much the best scenario for the Chiefs is let the Bills and the Ravens just beat the fuck out of each other. So let me move the Chargers there. Actually, I could move him right there. And so, Chris, we're in the divisional round now. Chiefs or the Chargers? This is round 3 between the two
Give me
teams.
give me the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going, and the Bills are going.
All right, and then the Bills are going to beat the Ravens. So here we are. History repeating itself. One of the most popular games or popular what we call rivalries in the playoffs. The Bills and the Chiefs. So, Chris, does Josh Allen finally get the job done and taking his team that he's been carrying on his back to the Super Bowl LIX? Or is Kansas City going to be continuing that path to chase for the three-peat?
Josh Allen does not. The Chiefs go.
Ooh, any reasoning to why? Because I was not expecting you to do that.
No, I just think that Mahomes will suck off enough refs to get the job done.
Oh come on now!
They'll win. There'll be like a some kind of holding call the last 3 seconds of the game that'll give them an extra 10 yards. They'll be able to kick a field goal. I think they're going to win 31-28 in that game, and it's going to be a nail biter. But I do think the Chiefs go.
All right. Well, Chris, behind the BK or behind the bingo lounge is $2 BJs, $2 BJs here, $2 BJs. Could be a referees at the $2 BJs. So Chris, there you go. That is Chris's picks for the AFC. So we're gonna wait on the end. We'll come back to the AFC. No, that's spoilers. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I released the script. Which did y'all see that, by the way? A better won a lot of money due to picking the Chiefs and the Lions being the number 1 overall seeds.
I did not see that. I saw 2 years ago when a guy put $100 each on the Chiefs and the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, and it paid out like a couple $25,000 or something.
Fuck. I can use 25,000 right now. I can so I could afford my new what we call white bitch habit of Starbucks lately with their lemonade. 25K would be really nice. So Brad, this is
a lot of lemonade with that.
Oh yeah. Oh man, my bladder will love it. All right, Brad. So we are with you with the AFC right here. So let's go with you, my friend. Texans or the Chargers?
I think I'll go with the Chargers here.
Okay. And so for the next one, because again, I gotta see where your mind's going with this. The Ravens or the Steelers?
I too will go Ravens here.
All right, so I am confident to move the Ravens down here for the moment. And who you got between the Bills and the Broncos?
Give me the Bills, baby.
I kind of figured that's where you were going, so I will go ahead and move that there. And we'll move the Texans right up, or not Texans, but the Chargers right up here. So, all right, Brad. Chiefs, Chargers, round 3. Who do you got?
Chiefs here.
Okay. Let me Work my magic. And man, just big divisional matchup here. Who do you got? The Bills or the Ravens?
Give me the Bills this year to take that W.
All right. So let me go ahead and put that there. And AFC Championship, Brad, I'll ask the same question as I did Chris. Does Josh Allen finally carry his team into the Super Bowl, or we are going to continue the path of the potential three-peats?
Probably not. But just to be different, I think I will pick the Bills here to take the W, and just to make things interesting.
Alrighty, I love it. I fucking love it. So let me go ahead and put that there, and let me copy and
friend.
paste that. Brad, really revealing the spoiler there.
Wow.
Secret. There we go. So now it's up to me. It's me, Amayo, with the AFC here. I'm gonna as well go with the Chargers to win because again, I feel like the Chargers, Steelers, and Broncos were just battling like hell to be that team to play the Texans because that is the best matchup for them. So Chargers win the lottery on that. So Chargers beat the Texans. Ravens and Steelers. Steelers are struggling at the absolute worst time while the Ravens are actually just starting to finally put everything together and being a deadly football team. So give me the Ravens. And I too will also go different here because I'm just telling you, this Broncos and Bills matchup. I'm just telling you, the Broncos have just this grit. They play in cold weather because it's cold in Denver, so they can go into Buffalo and play football. I feel like they can go in there and punch Buffalo in the freaking mouth. I feel like they will take Buffalo and put them in one of those freaking tables. You know, the Broncos going, Devon, get the tables. I really, really want to do that with the Broncos, but I just freaking can't with Josh Allen. So Josh Allen and the Bills get to move on to the next round. But I'm just telling you, Bills, watch out because to me, out of all the playoff games, that's the one on upset alert. Let's see here. Let me move that there. Let me move this.
Have you guys seen the conundrum that they're going to be in if the Chargers and the Rams both made it to championship Sunday?
Oh God! Like
because
I would think
but the path that both of them would have to take would lead them to home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
They share a stadium.
Dude, how do you do that?
I don't know. There's only and between one game and because I think they're both played on Sunday. So AFC's the morning game or NFC. One's a morning game. One's at 1. One's at 8. I think there's one at 4.
Do you know how much work those maintenance people have to freaking do?
I mean, it would be an impossibility because there's only like 1 hour in between, so there's no way really to flip it. They would. I don't know. Anyway, someone had brought it up on TikTok, and I just thought that was an interesting conundrum. I don't think that'll ever happen, but
well, hey, dude, anything can happen. Like if the Steelers win, the Chargers win, then of course if the Chargers beat either the Ravens or something like that, or actually it can't be the Ravens, but if the Chargers then beat the Bills and then just one thing goes to another, it could. Never say never.
Actually, it can't. That guy's a fucking idiot because the other two seeds are lower.
Oh shit! See, Chris,
but it's still,
I can count on you.
It's still interesting to think about if that what would have happened if that did occur.
Mm-hmm. And guys, we know me for the next round. We know me, Chiefs, because we got the Chargers number, man. Even though I'll tell you this though, if LeConte plays, the wide receiver for the Chargers, who's just had a really great rookie year, we will be struggling. But we're going to be having our top 3 DBs ready for that football game, so we'll have a plan for him. And then the Bills and the Ravens. So this time, and I am going to be serious this time, I am going to go different here. Josh Allen, love the guy, but you stole my celebrity crush of Haley Steinfeld, so fuck you. I'm going to go with the real MVP of Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. And plus, I just felt like with the running game with Lamar and Derrick Henry, very hard task, or too much of a task for Buffalo to handle. And as we saw in the past two, the Bengals ran the damn ball all over Buffalo at Buffalo in a playoff game. So the Ravens got a better run team than that particular Bengals team did. So that's why I'm going with the Ravens. So we get our week 1 opening kickoff rematch of Chiefs Ravens. And this time it's not going to be decided by a freaking toe on the out of bounds line. It's just going to be decided by, the true MVP that will not get any notice, but it is what it is because he will be too busy going after his three-peat. Give me Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to win the AFC.
Yeah, boy.
Yay. So that's what I
really?
got
That's an interesting take.
It's like you're surprised I did that.
I know. Never would have saw that coming.
Oh man. Let's see here. Let me move that there. All right, so that is our AFC picks. We all indeed picked. Brad picked the Bills, but me and Chris have picked the Chiefs. So the question now is, who are we going to get to represent the NFC? But before we make our picks, let's see here. Brad, we'll go with you first. Or actually, Chris, let's go with you first. Any thoughts with this bracket picture you see here?
No. I mean, I thought Sunday night's game was going to be a little bit better. I thought it was going to be like a high scoring kind of thing, the Vikings and the Lions. But it's crazy to have a 5 seed have to go on the road after what do they end up at 14
or
14 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, man, that's crazy. So yeah, and also kind of surprised to see both the Buccaneers and the Commanders in there. The Commanders weren't even on my radar at the beginning of the year. So that's a testament to Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels to how great they've been. But
and the true MVP, Chris, the true MVP, Cliff Cranberry.
Yeah, Cliff Cranberry. Yeah, man, he's been working wonders up there. So just surprised to see those two teams in there. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty standard affair for the rest of it. I'd like to see the Niners in there instead of the Rams, but I knew about midway through the season, I knew we were fucked. So not surprised.
Brad, your take on the NFC playoff bracket?
Nothing really that Chris didn't just say. I was just going to kind of comment on the Commanders making it. That's cool. And the Packers too, I guess. It's, nice to see. But yeah, he pretty much touched on everything.
Okay. And thank goodness, Chris, you expertise son of a bitch. I really don't have much to offer except just for the fact my most shocking team is the Minnesota Vikings. Who the hell would have thought Minnesota would have been 14-3? If you told me they were 14-3 in preseason, I'd just laugh in your face and then just go away and just block you from my Facebook. That's what I really would have done. But you know what? Minnesota keeps proving me wrong. So good on Minnesota. Very strong season, which kind of leads to a question because, again, it's crazy to think that a 14-3 team has to play on the road in the playoffs. I kind of think that's bullshit. So same thing with like the college football playoff format. Do we think we need to change the NFL playoff format and just reward the home games to the actual best teams?
Well, I mean, they're in division, with the Lions. So, I mean, I think it just creates, it just makes for good football. I mean, that was a great Sunday night game to end the season on. The stakes couldn't be any higher fighting for the 1 seed. So, no, I mean, I'm okay with it. It's surprising. I think they said it hadn't happened in like 30 years or something. So, I mean, it's cool when it does roll around. I mean, it does kind of suck for the Vikings, I guess, but this is part of the divisional, how the divisions are laid out.
I mean, I would like to reward those teams that have a better regular season. I've always thought the playoff seeding is funky here just because it's the same thing that we're seeing in college football. I mean, it just, I don't know. You always get those teams that are like borderline that sneak in just because they're in the weak division, and they,
Mm-hmm.
they get a higher seed. I don't know. It's pretty ridiculous that the Buccaneers have a 3 seed this year. I mean, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, like if they were fully healthy, the Buccaneers, like having Chris Godwin and other key players, like they deserve that 3 seed, especially how Baker Mayfield is playing big time in big time situations. But I agree with Brad. I don't think they deserve a 3 seed with how they've been playing overall as a team this season. But so I'm in agreement. I feel like I've always been a believer. What's the point of like having a great year, having 14-3, and you have to play on the road? I think that just to me is criminal. It just doesn't prove much. So it sucks seeing the Minnesota Vikings at number 5. They should either be 2 or 3, depending on how the tiebreaker works between the Eagles and the Vikings. And just send Tampa Bay on the road.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They snuck in because the Falcons lost a couple of games at the end, and they happened to beat a bad Saints team. So, I mean, that's what it came down to.
Yeah. So it's just very unfortunate there. So I will ask the same questions that I did with the AFC. And let's see here. I started with Chris first. We won't let you take away all of our answers with your expertise here. So, Brad, I'll go with you first. Who is the most dangerous team heading into the NFC playoff?
I'd say the Commanders. I mean, I just think that, Dan Quinn at the helm, you got a rookie quarterback, but Jaden Daniels has been fantastic all year. I would never count these guys out, man, especially they're starting off early with the Bucs, get a little confidence. Now that game could go either way. The Bucs aren't, a weak team compared to them, but they win that game, they get rolling. Who knows what could happen at that point? So I'd go with the Commanders.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, excluding the Lions out of the rest of the batch, I'm going to say the Eagles, I think, or are we going to exclude them as well since they're the 2 seed?
No, it's your pick, man. So if you want to go with the Eagles, you absolutely can, because that's a great pick.
I mean, I think the Eagles. Their defense maybe needs a little bit of work, but but Saquon and Jalen Hurts, AJ and Devontae's back now as well, right?
Yeah, I think so, and I think also to let you know too that Jalen Hurts is on the right path to be playing.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that I'd read that he was coming back. So, I mean, they've just got a lot of weapons. Saquon's been hard to take down all year. I think that they could, if anybody was going to take it away from the Lions, it could potentially be them.
Mm-hmm. And what's crazy too is that the Eagles and the Packers, this is a rematch from that very bizarre game down in Brazil too. So it would just be fun to seeing this matchup on American soil.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that game. Yeah.
Yeah, where Jordan Love got hurt and they lost those couple of games at the beginning part of the year too. So it kind of puts them where they're at. So with my pick, Brad picked the Commanders, Chris picked the Eagles. I'm gonna see. Part of me wanted to say the Buccaneers because again, just when it's the lights are on bright, Baker Mayfield, you don't count that kid out. But I'm actually going to probably go with the dark horse throughout the entirety of this playoff, like that one team that if they say, "Hey, I'm going to win I'm going to win my conference championship," I wouldn't honestly be surprised. And that's the LA Rams. I know they're very young defensively, but those guys play hard and they have come in the clutch a lot of times for the offense at times when they struggle. But when that offense is fully healthy, that team is very, very dangerous. So with Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Williams, Puka, and also Matt Stafford got back one of his favorite targets of Tyler Higbee in the last 2 weeks. So they're connecting with each other well. So that is a dangerous situation as well. So just watch out for the Rams, I say.
Yeah, they're getting healthy at the right time for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, and now we'll go back in reverse here. So just, that team that's not too hot going into these playoffs right now. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a tough one right here, just because all these teams to me are playing solid football all around. But if I have to pick one, oh man, this is tough right here. I'm just gonna go with Tampa Bay, mainly because they're just the most back and forth team, and their record shows that. So yeah, they just barely made it into the playoffs. So I would just give it to the Buccaneers due to injuries and just their defense just being okay. So Chris, who do you think is the?
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. I was just.
I thought Brad was
remembering
going.
my order of operations.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I would probably second that. I mean, honestly, all these teams are worthy of being here. I think, except for maybe the Buccaneers. I mean, not that they're a bad team. I had to look up their record for some reason. I was thinking they were 9-8. They actually ended 10-7, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, that they've been sort of inconsistent, I feel like, as the year has gone on. They've lost, some games I thought they were going to win, and they've won a lot that I thought they were going to lose. So I would probably say the Bucs are probably the least impressive of the batch here.
Mm-hmm. Brad?
I would be inclined to agree with both you fellas. I just the Saints had them on the ropes. Saints were horrible. They had them on the ropes last week. Of course, the Saints also beat the Falcons, but whatever. But the Falcons beat the Bucs twice this year. They swept them, so that's just that's saying something. I don't feel too great about the Bucs. I'd probably agree with you guys.
All righty, so let's get to the main part of this NFC. Chris, we will start with the picks with you, my friend. Rams or the Vikings?
Give me the Vikings here.
Ooh, okay.
There's part of me that actually thinks that the Rams may eke out a win here. Being at home, Sam Darnold starting in a playoff game may just crumble up. I mean, offense really wasn't clicking last week, so there's reason to believe the Rams may go, but give me the Vikings. I think that defense is stout, and I think they're going to roll on here.
Okay, and now we got Tampa Bay and the Commanders. Who do you got on that matchup?
I think that the Commanders' offense is too high-powered here. I think the Commanders are going to go.
Okay, and then just in case before I arrange the teams where they're supposed to go, what about the Eagles and the Packers?
Give me the Eagles.
All right, fly Eagles fly on the way to victory. Let me move it right there with the Eagles, and let's see here. You said Commanders and the Vikings. So with that math, the Commanders will have to travel to Detroit. Right there, and then the Vikings will have to go to the city of brotherly love. So Chris, who do you got, the Lions or the Lions?
Yeah, it's the Lions and the Eagles, 1 and 2 seed. I think there for a reason, and I think that they will move forward.
Move forward. All right, and who do you think is going to win between the Eagles and the Lions?
I think that the Detroit Lions go to their first Super Bowl.
Ooh, big time. So let me move that there. There we go. Look at the pretty little lion. There we go. Actually, let's make them a little bigger. Let's just show some respect to the Lions. If I can organize it. There we go. So, Brad, let's go to you, my amigo. The NFC for your predictions, the Rams or the Vikings?
I'm going to take the Vikings. And just to kind of speed it up, I already know I'm going to take the Commanders and the Eagles as well.
Okay, so same thing as Chris. I dig it. Let's see here. This takes a lot of work. All right. Actually, he's a little too big. Don't want to get him the big heading, you know. So, Brad, Lions or the Commanders?
Honestly, I'm going to go Lions here as well, and I really don't think anything's really going to change from Chris's picks. I mean, I just don't foresee. I see the Vikings going to round 2, but I don't. I think I see the Eagles beating them here, and I would pick the Lions over the Eagles into the Super Bowl.
Alrighty. So we'll go ahead and put the Lions right there. And we will send round 2. Love it. Let's see here. All right. So what about the Misa with the NFC predictions here? I'm going to go a little different here. Usually, when Minnesota is going in to the postseason, playing really good football, that's where they usually get a little overconfidence. And oh my God, you know what? Fuck me running. Justin Jefferson against a weak LA Rams secondary. Yeah, go ahead and give me the Vikings. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So we got Tampa Bay and the Commanders. I'm going to take the Commanders as well. So bad matchup for the Buccaneers. Well, honestly, any matchup would be a bad matchup for the Buccaneers. And then I'm going to have to take the Eagles. I think Green Bay is a very dangerous team that matches up well against the Eagles. But I just think the Eagles having the home game field advantage is just what's really going to decide this game. So I'm going to just agree with you, gentlemen, on this one.
We've got it, man. We've got the script.
Let's see here. Commanders right here. And yeah, I'm going to have to agree yet again. I'm going to pick the Lions just to make it quick. Picking the Lions here, being the Commanders. And then I'm also going to pick the Eagles against the Vikings. Which, trust me, I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota can pull out, because even freaking Dan Campbell's saying, see you in 2 weeks, Minnesota, meaning that he thinks that Minnesota is going to beat the Eagles here not too long. So if then that means we got the Eagles and the Lions, I am going to go with the Lions to win this game. But what scares me about the Lions is just those injuries on defense are piling up. So that's the only thing that scares me. But I think the Lions are just good enough where they can overcome it.
Dan Campbell, man.
Oh, freaking balls of steel made from the cities of Detroit. All right, so let's go all the way back up here to Chris. Gotta ask you, history in the making. Probably if all of our lineups come true, if this is the Super Bowl matchup, this might be the most important Super Bowl in the history of Super Bowls, because we got the three-peat, first ever three-peat on the line for the Kansas City Chiefs. There's not been a three-peat Super Bowl champion ever. Or the Lions, who have never won a Super Bowl. They have many horrible seasons, a couple of good seasons, have had many more horrible seasons, and now we finally got the Dan Campbell era, finally taking them to the Super Bowl, if this does play out. So, Chris, my man, historic Super Bowl, who do you think is going to win, and why?
I think that the Chiefs will win.
And why do you think that?
I think the Chiefs will win because
Don't say anything about the refs.
I think there's going to be a lot of bad calls. I'm just telling you. I think there will be some bad calls that go the Chiefs' way. And I think that the Chiefs' defense is a little bit better than the Lions' defense.
Mm-hmm. I love the analyst work, my friend. So, Brad, same question, or actually, no, your situation is a little different, so I apologize.
A little different.
Actually, this is a good different. You know why? Because the Bills have been to what? How many So fact check me here. The Bills have been to the Super Bowl 5 times, correct?
I think that, let's see, Bills, how many Super Bowls? Let's
Yeah,
go.
we're doing some fact checking.
I mean, I know.
just really promote this matchup.
Okay, so they've been to 4 Super Bowls. Yeah, 4, and they have never won one. And if I'm not
And they have
mistaken, I think they
never
went to
won.
4 in a fucking row and lost all of them.
God, fuck me, running
Love the luck.
Buffalo.
Yeah, they the only team to play in 4 consecutive Super Bowls and lose all 4. Yes.
That's worse than 28-3, man. I think. If you wanna open up the-
that is just.
Yeah, you get 4 chances at it, and you just failed each and every single time, dude. That's
I mean,
crazy.
and 4 in a row. Can you imagine every year trying to keep up the optimism? Like, oh man, we made it to the fucking Super Bowl. Hell yeah. And then just having your hopes and dreams shat on year after year. That's crazy.
I feel like the 49ers have been on a run like that here recently too. I mean, not quite
you guys
as epic,
know,
but
in the last 20 years in the postseason, the Niners have either missed the playoffs or they have made it to the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. So if we've been in the postseason, we've either gone to the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, or we missed the playoffs completely.
And when you miss and the thing is, when you miss the playoffs, you all have a losing record, because I do remember them talking about that during the Cardinals game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, that's no in between for the Niners.
But Brad, let me ask you this question, Fo. Both teams have never won a Super Bowl in their organization's history. So again, this would be a history-making Super Bowl, because we will determine a brand new Super Bowl champion for the very first time. So Brad, who's that team?
I got to go with the Lions, man. I just don't think there's any stopping Dan Campbell this year, man. I mean, and at least that's who I'm pulling for. I mean, I'd love to see it happen, but I just feel like their team is really dedicated. They're playing really hard for them. At a level that we don't see a lot in the NFL, like just the effort that we're seeing out there every play in and play out. So I love it for that. So that's what I'm hoping happens, and I do think it will happen. So give me the Lions.
Nice.
Now, to be fair, I would love to see the Lions win. I would actually rather see that than the Chiefs have a three-peat. I just think that the Chiefs will win, but I would much rather see the Lions win, for what it's worth, Birdie.
Well, you know what? It is well worth it, because for the fact that the Lions, I would love nothing more. But here's the deal: I will love to see this Detroit Lions win a Super Bowl with Dan Campbell. I love what Dan Campbell has done. He has made that team did a complete 180 or 360, or how many terms you want to say. He has done so much for the city of Detroit, making them from a nobody to the NFL scheduling them for all the big primetime games on Sunday night and Monday night football games. Just there are the most in-demand team in the NFL are indeed the Detroit Lions. And I just love everything about them. Here's the deal, though. The Lions, Chris, you alluded to earlier, the Lions defense, not as good as the Chiefs defense, mainly due to the injuries. I feel like if the Lions are fully healthy, I think their defense could edge out Kansas City's defense just a little bit more. But I think just for the brutality of these playoffs for the Lions, not going to be an easy road to get to the Super Bowl. So when they get there, they're going to be really beat up, while the Kansas City Chiefs have had 20 plus days to recover, get all their big time playmakers back. You take Patrick Mahomes and you heal up his ankle. So this will be the first time in 2 years a healthy Patrick Mahomes has taken that football field into the NFL playoffs, along with the other teams too. We got Travis Kelce, who's all freshened up. We got Stone Cold Chris Jones all healed up. We get back the crucial pieces of a Watson at DB, and Pacheco getting some more rest and more repetition to get back into the groove of things. So just so many great things that's happening for Kansas City. So for me, for who wins the Super Bowl, again, if it's not Kansas City, I would love nothing more for it to be the Detroit Lions. I will not be upset with that at all. So this is why this particular Super Bowl, if this matchup happens, I'm going to be happy regardless because I'll be proud of both teams. And plus, just winning just a Super Bowl is just the toughest thing ever, especially back to back. It's even more tougher back to back to back for the three-peat. But if there is a football team that can do it, it is a Patrick Mahomes football team. So shocker, everybody. The Kansas City Chiefs make history. They get the three-peat. Yeah, I love the music. I love the music to my ears. So that is our official NFL playoff picks. So I will go ahead and come back right here to see you guys. What's up, everybody?
Hello. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
God, been a long time. Ashton, with the refs' help. Man, fuck off. And remember, there's a guy named, there's also a quarterback named Joe Milton who's taking Drake May's job. So you just watch it because Joe Milton looked awfully good this past weekend.
Yeah, he looks good every once in a blue moon, but I don't.
God,
I
speaking of
wouldn't-
blue moon, I could go for one right now.
There's a little orange in there.
Yeah,
a
with the
little
orange
in there.
slice. And maybe some Pancake International Lay's chips. Chris?
Shallot pancake.
Oh, shallot pancake guy. You
Got 'em, bud.
disgusting. So, not an official sponsor. Well, can I get one goal? Anyways, gentlemen, before we lock out here, and then next week we will get back to a normal schedule. We'll figure out sports topics to talk about, maybe even throw some movie stuff in there too. But mainly, we'll get back to the fun and bring back some head-to-head clashes and some games. Anything else you want to say about this particular show in the NFL playoffs?
Aaron Rodgers, you suck.
Yes.
Bros.
Thank you. Retire, you broke ass bitch.
I used to really like him a lot, man, but after this year, I've had enough of him.
Nope. It was the last 3 to 5 years I discovered that Aaron Rodgers is a dictator, and his dictatorship just makes your team suck.
Yeah, it's not looking
So-
good, man.
Something like that.
Not a good plan. But all right, so we're going to go ahead and log out for tonight. We will again be back next week with some games and other fun topics. Brad, since you've been dealing with the internet issues today, even though they've been going strong this past half hour, but I'll still give it to you. You get the last word.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.